Well, good morning, everyone. I've had a few people ask me about baritones and different ways to get that deep tone. They've tried baritones, but they're afraid of the learning new chords. And just a reminder, those chords are already shapes, you just have to learn the new names, and it really isn't as tough as we think it is. I started with baritone, had to learn tenor because there was nothing on baritone tuning on the internet at that time, and I didn't have any other way to learn. So what I'm going to do is show you a bunch of different ways that you can achieve baritone tuning, and still have it sound like that deep tone that you're looking for. Maybe you have small arthritic hands, maybe holding a big instrument is a challenge for you. Hauling them around, you'd rather have a smaller instrument. There's a lot of different ways to do baritone tuning, and some of those include just your standard traditional baritone tuning. Here we go. I've got 5 different baritones that I'm going to kind of demo. The first is more of your standard. This one happens to be a pear shape. When I say standard, it's a standard depth and traditional bent sides and traditional length of scale. It's a 19.5 scale on this one, and this is Sparkie. She's one of my favorites. But this one, also the strings you use, if you're looking for more of a guitar tone, a lot of times going with a wound D and G string will give you that a little bit more of that bassy tone that you get when you hear guitar. It's not going to be exactly the same, but it's going to kind of simulate that. I happen to use classical guitar strings. This one is actually it's the Labella 910, 908. They're a single string that I purchased, and then I use fluorocarbons for the other 2 on this one. So, and I do it differently on some other ones. So I'll show you what I'm. Take too long on any of them. This happens to have an aspen top and a cherry back and sides. So, woods have a lot to do with the tone too. This happens to make it just a little bit brighter and louder. The other one that I have is similar in woods. Is this one? It happens to have a baritone sized body. Happens to be our amoeba shape, but it could be any of the shapes really. But I have a tenor scale neck on it, and part of that is it gives me a lot of options. I can go tenor low G tuning, and it sounds great in that. I had it in that for a long time, but then somebody gave me the bright idea that I had always thought you could only do a high D on a tenor scale, and they said no, you can do low D. It works. So I thought I'm going to put it to the test, and what they suggested was using the highest 4 strings of a classical guitar string set. Well, I had used the four lowest ones already on a contra tuning, which is another story altogether. But so I had used those 4 strings, but I had the classical guitar strings that I buy in singles, and these happen to be nylon strings, and a different feel. They're a little bit softer. So for somebody that has some arthritis, I find this one very easy to play. It's got more of the feel, even though it's a tenor scale. It's got the more of the feel of less tension that a baritone gives you, and I think it's got a really nice sound to it. So that's that one. Like I say, I'm comparing it to this one, doing it in conjunction with it because it's got a full depth body, just like that one does, even though it's a different shape. So, but it has a tenor scale neck, has the same, close to the same strings. The nylon strings are, like I say, they just have a little bit different feel, and I do like them for this application. So what if you need a thinner line one? Well, we do a thinner line one, but there are other thinner line, thinner body ones out there. This one, you'll see I tend to go with the strings that have a little less tension because I have really little hands and a little bit of arthritis in them. Not bad, but just enough that makes it a little easier for me. The tenor scale also, like when you've got one that's like this, and I do have a song that uses that particular chord, and I have, as you can see, I have a hard time reaching it on a baritone scale, especially since my pinky is bent and it wants to go the wrong direction. But this is walnut, thin line, and I have Worth Brown strings on this one. Got some wicked sustain. So this is another thin line, but on this one, this is just a tenor. It's not a baritone body and a tenor neck. It is a tenor. And I have a set of black line Fremont, and they're high D, GBE, for tenor tuning. And excuse me, I'm just fighting a little bit of a cold here.